In this video, we'll go over some useful idioms with the verb win and some useful idioms with the verb lose. So grab a notebook and let's get started. First, we'll go over the idioms that can take either the verb win or the verb lose. Our first one here is to win or lose hands down, and this means to win or lose easily and decisively without any doubt or challenge. For example, the experienced chess player won hands down against his novice opponent. A novice is someone who is inexperienced or a beginner. Our next idiom is to win or lose by a landslide, and this means to win or lose by an overwhelming majority or margin. For example, the incumbent candidate won the election by a landslide, receiving almost twice as many votes as her closest competitor. In a political election, the incumbent candidate is the one who is holding office and attempting to be re-elected against one or several competitors. And my next sentence says, the home team dominated the basketball game and won by a landslide with a final score of 110-75. The idiom to win or lose by a mile means to win or lose by a significant distance or margin. For example, the marathon runner won the race by a mile, finishing several minutes ahead of the second place competitor. This idiom, to win or lose by a nose, means to win or lose a competition by a very small margin or by a close call. For example, the horse crossed the finish line first, winning the race by a nose, narrowly beating the runner-up. And my next sentence says, the gymnast executed a flawless routine and won the gold medal by a nose with a slightly higher score than the second place competitor. This idiom, to win or lose by a hair's breadth, means to win or lose by an extremely narrow margin or by a fraction of a measure. A hair's breadth refers to the width or breadth of a strand of hair. My first sentence says, the election results were too close to call, with the candidate winning by a hair's breadth, securing victory by only a handful of votes. And my next sentence says, she lost the race by a hair's breadth, crossing the finish line a fraction of a second slower than the winner. The idiom to win or lose the upper hand means to gain or lose an advantage or position of control in a situation or competition. My first sentence says, after making a mistake and losing his queen, the chess player lost the upper hand and lost the game a few moves later. And my next sentence says, bluffing during a poker game can help a player win the upper hand by deceiving their opponents. To bluff in poker is to make your opponents believe you have better cards than you actually do. Our next idiom, to win or lose fair and square, means to win or lose in a fair and honest manner without cheating or unfair advantages. For example, the athlete trained rigorously and won the race fair and square. My next sentence says, due to the overwhelming evidence against him, the defendant lost the court case fair and square. The defendant in a court case is the individual or group accused of doing something wrong. To win or lose the battle of wills is to emerge as a victor or to suffer defeat in a conflict or competition of determination, perseverance, or just stubbornness. For example, the child refused to eat his vegetables, but his determined mother ultimately won the battle of wills after threatening to send him to bed. So the child chose to eat his vegetables instead of having to go up to bed early. And my next sentence says, after complaints from students, the teacher lost the battle of wills and lowered the word count requirement for the final essay. The idiom to win or lose the hearts and minds means to gain or lose the support, trust, or admiration of a group of people. For example, the politician lost the hearts and minds of voters after looking annoyed and bored during the debate. And my next sentence says, the nonprofit organization's projects help them win the hearts and minds of donors, resulting in increased donations. Here we have the idiom to win the battle but lose the war, or to win the battle, lose the peace. And this means to achieve a short-term victory or success but suffer long-term negative consequences or fail to maintain stability. For example, the company's aggressive marketing tactics help them win the battle by increasing sales, but they lost the war as their reputation suffered long term. And my next sentence says, the military quickly won the battle, but their inability to establish stability led them to lose the peace. Now we'll go over the idioms that only take the verb win. We have to win at all costs or to win at any cost. And this means to achieve victory or success by any means necessary, regardless of the ethical or moral implications. My first example sentence says, to win the race at all costs, the athlete was willing to take performance-enhancing drugs. And my next sentence says, the politician's campaign spread false information about his opponents to win at any cost. The idiom to win the game of life means to achieve overall success and fulfillment in one's personal life and professional life. For example, despite the challenges, the entrepreneur managed to win the game of life by building a successful business and maintaining a happy family. And my next sentence says, for the artist, winning the game of life meant pursuing her passion and creating inspiring artwork. Our next win idioms, to win against the odds or to win against all odds, means to achieve victory or success despite facing extreme difficulties or unfavorable circumstances. For example, the underdog team won against the odds by defeating the reigning champions. An underdog is an individual or team that is expected to lose, while the collocation reigning champion refers to the most recent winner of a contest or competition. Our next sentence says, the impoverished writer's novel became a bestseller, winning against the odds and transforming her life. In this sentence, we have the adjective impoverished, which means poor. So an impoverished writer is a poor writer. The idiom to win by a stroke of luck means to achieve victory or success unexpectedly and purely due to luck or chance. For example, the amateur golfer won the tournament by a stroke of luck when his final shot bounced off a tree and landed inches from the hole. An amateur in sports is someone who plays for fun rather than money. So the opposite of an amateur golfer is a professional golfer, someone who earns a living playing golf. The idiom to win the day means to achieve a victory in a particular event or situation. For example, the talented singer performed with great passion, winning the day at the school talent show. The idiom to win the hearts of the jury means to win the favor, approval, or support of a group of people, especially in a legal or public context. For example, the attorney won the hearts of the jury with his persuasive closing argument. And my next sentence says, the young singer's performance on the talent show won the hearts of the jury and led to a standing ovation and a record deal. A standing ovation is when the audience stands up to clap for a long period of time during or after a speech or performance. Now we'll go over the idioms that take the verb lose. Our first idiom is to lose one's mind, and this means to become mentally unstable, irrational, or insane. For example, the constant stress and pressure at work made him feel like he was losing his mind. And my next sentence says, the character in the movie witnessed horrifying events that caused her to slowly lose her mind. The idiom to lose one's cool means to become angry, agitated, or to lose one's composure. For example, the customer became increasingly demanding, causing the salesperson to lose his cool. And my next sentence says, during the argument, both friends lost their cool and said hurtful things to each other. Our next lose idiom, to lose touch with someone, means to lose contact or connection with someone, usually resulting in a lack of communication or knowledge about their current situation. For example, after moving to a different country, she lost touch with her childhood friends and didn't know what they were up to anymore. To know what someone is up to simply means to know what they are doing. So in this case, this person probably doesn't know where her old friends live, what they're doing to earn a living, or even if they are married or not. This next sentence says, life's busy schedule caused them to lose touch with each other and they gradually drifted apart. When people drift apart, they communicate with each other less and less often. The idiom to lose sleep over something means to worry excessively or to have difficulty sleeping due to a particular issue or concern. For example, she lost sleep over the upcoming exam, constantly studying and feeling anxious about her performance. And my next sentence says, the economic downturn caused many people to lose sleep over their job security and financial stability. The idiom to lose sight of something means to forget, neglect, or no longer pay attention to something that was once important or a priority. For example, on her path to success, she lost sight of her true passions and didn't take care of her own well-being. And my next sentence says, the company became so focused on profitability that it lost sight of its core values and the needs of its employees. Core values include the beliefs of an organization or individual that are the most important. The idiom to lose track of time or lose track of the time means to be unaware of the passing of time or to lose sense of time. For example, busy studying, she lost track of time and didn't realize it was already midnight. And my next sentence says, the siblings lost track of the time while fishing and were surprised when they finally noticed it was already dark outside. The idiom to lose one's touch means to lose one's skill, ability, or proficiency in doing something that was once mastered. For example, after taking a break from playing the piano, he felt like he had lost his touch and struggled to play as well as before. And my next sentence says, the author's latest novel received many negative reviews, and fans complained that she had lost her touch at creating captivating stories and characters. Thank you for watching. I hope at least one of these idioms were new to you. Try to use one the next time you are speaking with someone in English, or down below in the comments. See you in the future.